Stan Gibilisco here, ham radio station W1GV, Whiskey 1 Golf Victor, with a little bit more about my backup power system, which I modified with automotive batteries, something that is not without risk, as I indicated in the previous video on this subject. There is tonight's regional radar. Just to the west of the Interstate 90 tag there is where I live, in that little county there that looks sort of like a square with a little thing jutting out at the lower right. Lawrence County, South Dakota, and I live right in the middle of that county, and we're getting rain showers that just keep wrapping around and around and around. We welcome the moisture, but it's getting to be a little bit old. Of course, about 3 months from now, we'll be wishing for it again, I'm sure. There's the frequency, 1.600 megahertz. And once again, I'm displaying some dirty electricity. And you can actually hear it, I believe, in the background if you listen. Yesterday, when I made the video about the alternative or backup uninterruptible power supply modification, there is the fan, and I decided to set it in the oscillating mode because, well, I should say it decided, because it just kept wanting to go into that mode, and I thought, alright then, you want it so bad, you can have it. Really doesn't matter that much. It's easier to tell that it's running that way because it's a pretty quiet fan. There are the automotive batteries. There's one of them. There's the other one. Now, I added a couple of things, and it's pretty hard to see them. I don't know if you can really see them down there. There, you might be able to get a glimpse of it. That little glint. That little glint. There it is. There's the other one. Those are Pyrex cake pans. Pyrex, and I set them in there in addition to having that fan. Now, the reason for setting those batteries in those Pyrex cake pans is because if these batteries ever happen to leak a little bit of acid out, I don't want it going on that concrete floor. It'd damage that floor. Not that it's a real pretty floor to begin with, but it'd be even less pretty if it got damaged by sulfuric acid, and that might affect the resale value of the house. There is the uninterruptible power supply itself. It's an APC Backups XS X-Ray Sierra 1000 volt amperes, or they claim about 600 watts. That's with its original battery, which got weak, and so I replaced it with these two automotive batteries. In retrospect, I wish I'd gone with marine batteries. Now, there are some issues with this arrangement, and I should remark about that. The first issue, there's the wallpaper that I got from Great Images in NASA, and I did a little color modification on it. One of several on my Windows 8 machine that I use to make videos for instructional purposes right now on this book, Alternative Energy Demystified, explanations for the answers to the final exam in that. Keep me busy. Hope you'll learn something from it. There's the standing wave ratio and power meter, the transceiver. All of this stuff probably draws about 1,000 watts when it's all on at once, and it is. I've got it all on at once. That would put quite a strain on that uninterruptible power supply as it originally was configured. Now, there's another issue, though, with those batteries, which you can see down there, resting in their Pyrex cake pans and being constantly ventilated with that fan. There's good ventilation in this room to begin with, but now that prevents hydrogen gas from accumulating near those batteries, because if that were to happen and then there was a spark for some reason, not be good at all. Those are some of the hazards of these batteries, and that is why they're generally not recommended for routine use in this application. The other thing is that they are not deep cycle batteries, so they won't last for very long. They won't provide power for very long. But I don't need them to provide power for very long. I just need them to provide the power that I need to keep this whole system from crashing in the event of a power failure for maybe 5 minutes maximum, so that I can hook up my emergency backup generator, and so that I'll have time to shut these computers, this computer and this computer, down properly without having them crash on me and having other glitches that, and then it'll give me a little bit of run time if I need it, particularly if there is an emergency, which is the usual case when you have a power failure. I might want to be on the ham radio and be conducting some emergency communications. I've tested this. It'll run up to 15 minutes with all this stuff going, and that's plenty of time. But these automotive batteries are not meant to run for a long period, nor is this uninterruptible power supply. Now the inverter in that supply does work. It does provide only 96 volts, but that's enough to run these things for a few minutes. There are a lot of things I'm trying to get in here into this short video. Another thing about this, that inverter isn't really designed to handle a whole lot more than 1,000 volt amperes. So I don't know how much more it could actually handle. These batteries might be able to provide 2,000 or even 3,000 volt amperes. I don't know if the inverter could do that. Another thing people try to do with this kind of an arrangement, especially if they use marine batteries or deep cycle batteries, is they think they're going to get this thing to run for something like 48 hours. That's fine, except the inverter in one of these uninterruptible power supplies really is not designed to run for that length of time. So you don't really want to try and do that. Mainly I just did this as a hack to see if it would work, because the other battery had gone south on me, and I could order it and replace it and be happy and everything would work, except it might not deliver the required power to run all this Nerd Cave apparatus that I've got hooked up now. So with that, there's the system as it stands now. The one more thing that I could do, but I don't think that's necessary with Pyrex trays, is put a little baking soda down in there, so that if the acid does spill out a little bit of it, it'll get neutralized by that baking soda, and I won't get burned when I go to pull those batteries out of there. I might yet do that. I guess why scrimp? Baking soda only costs about 25 cents a box, right? Well, that's it from the Nerd Cave now. And I don't know. Should you send us some dry weather? You guys out there in Wyoming got it a little drier. I was just out in Cody in Park County. That's the northeastern county of Wyoming there. Looks a little drier there right now. Want to send us some dry weather? And then maybe come August. This is June. Well, actually, it's May 30th, 2013, as I make this video. Come maybe July 30th, 2013, maybe we'll be wishing we had this. Because once it gets all wet, and everything gets all lush and green, and then it'll all dry out and produce great tinder for forest fires later in the year. It's either feast or famine when it comes to water in South Dakota. That's why we have got it all to ourselves. Nobody else can stand the idea. Ha ha. Stan Jabalisco, W1GV, signing out for now.